Welcome to the Cedarville Yellow Jackets Dynasty, where we're going to start off by looking at how all the conferences are to start the Dynasty. You'll notice it's quite a bit different from real life, and this Dynasty file picks up from where Hobart Bay Dynasty left off, my previous series of a small school in Alaska. Conference USA is the most glaring different conference, but we have other changes as well. UGF and Kalispell are also in this game because I forgot to get their team builder files and I wanted them, so I modded them into my game, and now they're here. Pac-12 and Mountain West are basically one big West Coast conference, and the Mountain West just holds the bottom 5 teams, the Pac-12, the top 16. So there's a quick look at the college football landscape. Let's take a look at Cedarville's actual team. Starting quarterback is most likely going to be D. Morgan. He's not the highest overall, but he's a right-hander. The other guy is going to be Marcus Lawson, a much better passer, but he's left-handed, and I don't like left-handers in this game. Number 90, Adam Hood, is going to be a versatile defensive tackle. Fred Francis is going to be carrying the rock for us in the backfield. Number 20, Joel Nelson, will be one of our corners, but he's got more of a role than the defense. He's also going to be returning the kickoffs, and probably punts as well, if we can force one, in his spare time. Not only that, top receiver, number 82, Scott Johnson. He's a junior, top overall guy, but lining up next to him is number 84, Dustin Battle, a freshman and our best pass catcher. Lurking in the secondary is number 24, Jeremy Hunter, a fellow freshman corner who should develop quite nicely. And number 53, the middle linebacker, Greg Wade, looks to lead this defense from the middle. And our most decent guy is number 17, Anthony Arnold. Now, as for recruiting, here's the deal. I've limited myself to only going after guys of the prestige of my school, and we're starting off 1-star. However, I don't want to go after all 5-stars when we get to 5-star, which means that we're only going to go after 1-stars in Ohio, the state Cedarville is in, to start off. It's going to make recruiting incredibly hard, and it's going to make progress in trying to win games very, very slow. But that's the goal of this dynasty. We're trying to get it to a realistic speed of rebuild. No championships in year 4 or 5. Now you see all these guys, we're going to slightly prioritize those who are JUCOs, they're higher overalls, and they're going to play sooner. But we do have some guys already committed. Christopher McLean being chief among them, as well as Melvin Holland, Charles Waters, and John Wilson. So we are very happy with those pickups. I would think recruiting would be a bit easier, at least in the beginning stages, because not a lot of people are going after them. Now for this season, we're going to start off going to Ohio State, our main rival. In Cedarville, a lot of those students love Ohio State, so that'll be fun. Then our first home game is going to be hosting Hobart Bay. They still remember their days as a brand new school. They'll happily oblige. Also, we're an easy win. Then we get our first somewhat winnable game with Temple on the road there in Pennsylvania, and that's when the Maction begins. We start off by going to Northern Illinois, then hosting Eastern Michigan before we finally hit our bye. After the bye, we get Akron at home, and then we sort of flip-flop. We go to Bowling Green, which I think is an underrated venue, host Miami of Ohio, then we get to go to Kent State before going, we get to host Toledo as well. Never mind, I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot we were flip-flopping. Anyway, we go to Ohio, which could be another rivalry, a MAC rivalry. Then we end the year against Middle Tennessee State in week 15. And it's a good thing our conference is as weak as it is, because we are the second weakest conference in all of college football, only ahead of the Mountain West, which has 5 teams, not even 6. They can't even fill up the board. Conference USA, ironically, is the second strongest conference, and they're brand new. The SEC has dropped to number 4. That's kind of really sad, but at the same time, not really. ACC is still there. Clemson is basically all they got. Maybe Florida State or Miami. And the Big 12, they're a bunch of middle range schools, so that'll be fun. They don't have Rutgers in the top 6, but I'm high on Rutgers this year, personally. Sunbelt is the top group of 4 school, followed by the American, then it's us in the MAC, and then, of course, the Mountain West. Now, if you want to know more about Cedarville's history as a football program, you can actually find a document with a simple Google search. And on that document, you'll find out that Cedarville only ever had one winning season. They went undefeated in their first year with a football team. 6 wins, no losses, 2 ties. That is still undefeated, though. And after that, it would be all downhill. They had one other year where they were at 500 with 3 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties. Aside from that, it was all losing seasons. Wins are hard to come by. And many a year, they just didn't have a football program. Or they abandoned the season after one game. Or we just don't have any information on it. The lowlight of all of Cedarville's football history would be one particular game against a school called West Liberty Teachers. Now, I've never heard of this game before, and for all I know, the school is called West Liberty, and they faced a bunch of teachers. Either way, they lost 137-0. So no matter what happens in Game 1, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do worse than that at least. When all is said and done, however, Cedarville's total football record to this point is 37 wins, 114 losses, and 15 ties. I don't think we'll be adding to that tie count, but I'm pretty sure we'll be adding a lot to that loss column. If you're looking for high stakes, an all-time classic matchup in the making, a game where you will wish you had watched it live if you didn't, you are in the wrong place. It's the number 6 Ohio State Buckeyes against a football team who hasn't played a game in 70 years. It's going to be a blowout. If you're a betting man, here's some odds for you. If Cedarville were to win this game, a $100 bet would net you $1 million. If you want to further wager, a winning bet of $100 that Cedarville wins the national championship would net you enough money to buy the company of Amazon. And if you were to guess that Cedarville would go undefeated by paying that $100 throughout the entire season and win the national championship, you would earn half the annual GDP of Japan. Ohio State is starting Darnell Smith. It's his first time as a starting quarterback, and honestly, he couldn't ask for a better opponent to be against. Cedarville is nothing special. He's got less than 300 total passing yards. I would suspect that he's going to break that today. Rushing yards, also not a lot. Less than 30, 29 to be exact. With him in the backfield is Bernard Anderson, who's in a similar boat. He also has not started a game, but he's had a little bit more production than Smith has. He's gotten almost 800 yards on his career, which isn't bad for a backup. He just wants to be the starter. Ohio State is gearing up for this one. They've paid Cedarville quite a lucrative check, which is the only reason Cedarville's playing this game. It's Cedarville and Ohio State. The Yellow Jackets are filled with students that love Ohio State because they're an hour away from Columbus. And so here we go. The Cedarville Yellow Jackets now have a new era kicking off. And the very first kickoff goes out of bounds. All right. Very first play. It's going to be D. Morgan, your starting quarterback. Does a little play action and takes the sack. Not the first play you want, but that's better than Hobart Bay's very first play. They gave up a 75-yard touchdown run. So it could be worse. 2nd down and 16 on this opening series. D. Morgan launches into coverage. I'm not exactly sure where he was trying to go with that one. I think he was going for the tight end. I think it was a terrible pass in every respect. Ohio State's first offensive play is a run to Bernard Anderson, who's showing why he's a good starter and why Cedarville is terrible. Still not as bad as Hobart Bay's first play, but even so, same result. Darrell Smith runs it in for the touchdown. Ohio State has no problem whatsoever scoring on their first drive. It is 1 minute and 5 seconds into the game, And Cedarville started off with the ball, and yet Ohio State has the touchdown. So Cedarville next drive is going to have an incomplete pass. D. Morgan not exactly on target right now. Maybe a little flustered, I'm not sure why. Short pass to Ball will net almost enough for a first down, but how about this? Head coach Carl Carr, he's going to take a wager and go for it this early, and no chance. Fred Francis could not even get to the line of scrimmage. His O-line did literally nothing. That was sad. Ohio State's next drive, Darrell Smith, a little swing out to Williams as he gets inside the 10 there for the Buckeyes. Very next play, handoff Bernard Anderson. Nothing but crimson for his viewing pleasure. Touchdown, Ohio State. Suffice to say, they're off to a hot start. Their average starting field position is Cedarville's 40? 35? 3rd and 11, next drive, D. Morgan gets the ball out, and it is dropped. So his receivers are doing him no favors here either. And now out comes our punter, Anthony Arnold, the one decent player. He played soccer in high school, but he was also a decent punter. We're glad to have him. Meanwhile, Ohio State is taking it back inside of Cedarville's 40, because why not? We're not even halfway through the first quarter, and you can already tell this is going to be a blowout. Darrell Smith running with it himself, and he does not slide. Instead, he takes the hit. I wouldn't recommend that. First down and goal, Smith looking. Now he decides to run, and he lowers his shoulder, gets into the end zone. And I'm pretty sure if you bet Cedarville would win this game, you've lost your money already. Yellow Jackets next drive. D. Morgan trying to get something, and there's a catch. A catch for 4 yards. Courtney Wilson getting the play. I've always found it weird that some guys have feminine names, though. They're going to try a short pass again. The screen has space. Fred Francis does not have enough speed. He does get chased down, but 28 yards. How about that? Short pass works out. First down and 10, and the O-line forgets how to do their job. Oh my. This offensive line is going to be a massive problem for this offense. 3rd down and 11. Not sure what play you have drawn up here. An incomplete pass. Could do worse. Buckeye next drive. Somehow we have a 3rd and 10. Could this be a stop? Caught by Alexander, slips a tackle, and keeps the drive alive for the Buckeyes. So no luck, no dice. The Yellow Jackets. The pitch out to Bernard Anderson. Got some blocks downfield. Fighting off a guy still on his feet as he's pushed out of bounds. And then just a little bit later, Darrell Smith scrambling again, and he has a hat trick on the ground. The quarterback, 3 touchdowns on the ground, first quarter. And this is just sad. 3rd down and 10, yet another terrible throw. There's a flag on the play. It's a holding anyway. That doesn't matter. Now, don't think that Ohio State's going to let up. They're not going to let this quarter run out. Bernard Anderson somehow keeps his feet, breaks 1 tackle, and gets into the end zone. Ay caramba. Oh boy. I still don't know how he stayed on his feet. So he breaks 1 tackle, manages to get out of his own guys, breaks another tackle, and then has enough momentum to keep carrying. Second quarter now, and now we have Marcus Lawson in the game. His throw is forced into coverage. Not sure what he was thinking. That'll be a good summary for how the drive went. First down and 10 for the Buckeyes. Smith takes the sack. How about that? If you bet Cedarville would have a sack today, you just earned yourself some money. Cedarville, their very first sack. How about that? It only took the quarterback scrambling straight into the defensive line. That's all. And he takes a deep shot, bam, right to Alexander. Easy money for Ohio State. See, I don't know why they don't do that more. I mean, they can beat the top off this coverage every single play if they want to. Oh well, 42-0, early second quarter. Handoff, and Fred Francis is caught in the backfield. No offensive line help whatsoever. It's really sad. 4th and 13. Head coach says, what the heck, let's go for it. You throw an interception. Not a great idea. Ward breaks a tackle, stays in bounds. How about that? And of course, the inevitable result is going to be this, a fullback dive for an Ohio State touchdown. Quinton Jones gets his name on the stat sheet today. How about that? Another fourth down, another conversion attempt, because why not? That deep pass is knocked away. At least they gave the receiver something of a chance. Next drive, after fooling around for a little bit, Ohio State runs it in on a third down and goal. Yeah, this is not pretty, suffice to say. How about this? How about a run to Fred Francis that goes for 4 yards? How about that? That's something special right there. Fourth down, though, and they're going to go for it again. And that throw is caught by Johnson, who gets the first down. How about that? Good job, Scott Johnson, holding on to it. But it will not last. Third down and 10. Lawson just gets it out. The floater is knocked away in one-on-one. And we will punt the ball away. So Ohio State, yet another chance to score as Smith finds Fitzpatrick wide open. I mean, there's no fight in this defense whatsoever. Smith looking again. He's going to take an end zone shot, and that's intercepted by DJ Wright. How about that? If you bet Cedarville would get a turnover, you've won yourself some money. DJ Wright, the cornerback, picks off Ohio State. That's the highlight of the day. And that'll bring us to the end of the first half. It's a slaughter right now, and everyone saw it coming. 56-0. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you were thinking if you thought that Cedarville would even be close in this game. Unlike other dynasties where, they maybe win the first game, nuh-uh. We're not going for that. We're going for realism. And to be real, Ohio State would do exactly this to Cedarville if Cedarville put out a football team tomorrow. That's just facts. It'd probably be worse, actually. Ohio State looks like they might slow things down. Darryl Smith is still going to scramble for whatever he can. May as well. He slides down. Honestly, probably didn't need to. Third down and 1. Handoff, and Bernard Anderson met in the backfield. How about that? Cedarville gets another tackle for loss, but the Buckeyes are still going to go for it. The draw play. Anderson met in the backfield, but stumbles forward for the first. Terrible luck for Cedarville. They had the right play call. And the handoff to Anderson. Beautiful blocking downfield, and no one's got the speed to catch him. Right on the U of the Buckeye. Ohio State, another touchdown. Now the over-under for this game was 76.5. With Ohio State having a 70-point favorability, I think they're going to break that. Now Cedarville, they got themselves a 3rd and 2. They have a shot at a first. I don't know what Lawson was doing there. I don't know, but somehow his short mannequin challenge actually worked. Go figure. And he tried it again, and he loses the football. So, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, it would seem. Oh boy, yep. Ohio State gets the ball right back. Smith is going to run the ball again, make some moves, and now inside the 10. Oh boy. Third down and goal, 1 yard to go. Cedarville does not cover Bernard Anderson. So now he's got himself a receiving touchdown on the day. Good for him. Yellow Jackets do literally nothing with their next drive, and Bernard Anderson gets the handoff, makes a nice cut, has space, breaks a tackle, and the last man stumbled, allowing him to score 51 more yards for Bernard Anderson. Lights out. Well, if you're hoping this play means Cedarville has some offensive production, you're wrong. Ohio State forces another turnover. It's just sad. It's just sad. Slow down, will ya? Outside run, got some blocks, easy touchdown once again for Bernard Anderson. Oh boy. Well, Cedarville, can you do something? Can you at least drive down the field a little bit? Third down and 6. Quick throw to Dustin Battle. Somehow caught that in coverage. It was a reckless throw. Completely reckless, but it worked out. Second down and 8. Trying to keep the momentum going. A drop. Wide open. Absolutely wide open. Third and 9. That pass caught. How about that? Ryan Gatewood on the corner route. Excellent play. 2nd and 10. How do you follow it up? Another corner route, but this time it's intercepted. Yep. 8 for 25, less than 50 yards. That's Marcus Lawson's final stat line, and Ohio State would run the clock out from there. This game went exactly as you might expect. Ohio State blew them out from the beginning. It was never even a question. Cedarville almost got into field goal range, I think. I think they needed about 20 more yards when they were at their closest. They needed 20 more yards for field goal range, and that was it. Buckeyes fans are happy about this one. Cedarville University is happy to cash the check. They'll appreciate it. As nice as it is to have a lucrative bread company CEO paying for your stadium and uniforms, and yes, that is canon in this universe, you can't pay for everything. Turns out college football is an expensive endeavor. In fact, the actual University of Cedarville said once that they considered a college football team, and just the marching band broke the budget. So 84-0 in Cedarville's first game back. Not at all a break from tradition either. It's exactly as you would expect. Yeah, I've run out of things to say at this point. This isn't going to be a lucrative or sexy stat line. 11 total completions on 36 attempts. 88 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but Marcus Lawson was the better of the two. His misses weren't as bad. They were mostly just forced passes into coverage, which makes him more liable for interceptions. Fred Francis had -4 rushing yards on the day, which is really sad. The team as a whole had negative rushing yards on it as a whole on the day, but that's also because they counted sacks, and without sacks, you probably aren't going negative. Receiving, Fred Francis, the running back, makes up for his lack of rushing. Ryan Gatewood also had that one good catch, but yeah, a lot of drops too. Look at this. 5 drops by the receiving corps. You can't have that. You cannot have that. Drops will kill you. Yeah, it was a sad day. A very sad day for Cedarville's offense. Now, I'm not sure how the defense did. Let's take a look at it. Who had the most tackles? That would be Steve Brown. Whoever he is. He had the sack. Oh, how about that? He had the sack. Good on him. It helped that, Darryl Smith ran straight into the line. But even so. But DJ Wright, he was the guy. He had the play of the game. Gets the interception in the end zone. That's what I call awesome. So good on him. He's definitely earning a gold star from Coach Carl Carr today. And here's your box score. Cedarville dominated time of possession, but it did not matter. All right, well, that is game 1 of this dynasty. A blowout from the beginning. Everyone saw it coming. That is all for this week. Until next time, see ya.